We'd like to start this bulletin with some breaking news coming in. Based on the intelligence input, a joint operation was carried out by the Army and the Jammu and Kashmir police that lasted for 8 hours in the Handwara town of Jammu and Kashmir. In the ensuing fight, 2 terrorists were eliminated and a team of 5 officers from the Army and the state police attained martyrdom. The operation was carried out by the Army and the J&K police after a tip-off from civilian inmates in Changimula. The team at first entered the target area and then successfully extricated trapped civilians. In the ensuing firefight, 2 terrorists were killed and the team of 5 Army and J&K personnel comprising 2 Army officers, 2 Army soldiers and 1 Jammu and Kashmir police sub-inspector were killed. Personal details of all will be released by the headquarters, Northern Command, as per the protocol. And now for more details, Ishan Vani is joining us on the phone lines from Srinagar. Ishan, thank you for joining us. Tell us, what do we know about this encounter so far? We know that an Army colonel has lost his life. Tell us, what details do you have so far?
Well, it was a massive operation launched by a joint team of security forces, including Jammu and Kashmir Police and the Indian Army. They had a tip of the presence of 2 Pakistan militants who had infiltrated recently into the Indian side, and that is why a joint operation was launched day before yesterday. But the militants, after initial exchange of fire, had managed to escape, and later on intelligence input was generated that they were hiding in a nearby area, and that is why another search operation was launched in that particular residential area. The Army says that there were civilians who were trapped inside the house, and the team went to rescue them, and while they came under a barrage of gunfire from the hiding militants, and that is why the rescue operation became difficult. In the meantime, for at least 5 hours initially yesterday, we were told that a contact has been lost with the team who were trying to take out the civilians from the particular house. Given the fact it was a residential house, so it was difficult as an operation, and the weather was really bad. So it became difficult for the Army to manage the operation initially, but later on in the morning, they have carried out a final assault on the house and neutralized 2 militants who are most likely to be foreigners. And at the same time, they were also, sad to see the bodies of the Army men, including the colonel, who was a decorated officer and was awarded Sena Medal last year. Now, apart from this, he was also commanding the 22 Rashtriya Rifles in the Handwara area, and a major and 2 Army men and 1 J&K police sub-inspector have also lost their lives in this operation. Given the magnitude of the operation, the security forces tried to, try to contact these men who were trapped inside the house, but regular contacts failed, and that is why a final assault was launched in the morning to make sure that the militants who are hiding inside the house don't get away and they are neutralized well in advance. Now, apart from the operation, the Army says that, they have lost a brave officer who was commanding the 22 Rashtriya Rifles, the anti-infiltration brigade in the North Kashmir. And remember, Handwara is very close to the line of control, and this may very well be a group which had infiltrated recently into the Indian side, and that is why the operation was launched carefully. Now, they have been trying to change their location in the house, but the security forces zeroed in on them, and finally in the morning, a final assault was launched in which 2 militants were killed. And, the 5 Army and security force personnel, including a major, colonel, and 2 other Army men and 1 Jammu and Kashmir policeman have been found dead inside the house while they were in action.
Right. Ishan, thank you for those details. Also, another question, as you mentioned, the Handwara area is very close to the line of control. Do we know anything about the motivation of these terrorists and where they come from? Has anyone claimed responsibility for these attacks?
Well, there has been no confirmation whether which group they belong to, but so that indicated that this could be a Jaish-e-Mohammed outfit, a group which had recently infiltrated, and they were trying to move in through the area. So these are the traditional ways of militants to operate in the North Kashmir, where they infiltrate and then try to sneak into different paths before they are taken to different places. But one doesn't have any official confirmation about which group they belong to and when did they infiltrate through the line of control or where they're already present. But the sources indicate that they had infiltrated recently. We have seen that the border has been, flared by Pakistan. There have been continuous ceasefire violations. The army has said that Pakistan is trying to shield and bring across more militants into the Kashmir side, given the fact that snow has started to melt. And this is the apt time for the Pakistan to send more infiltrators to the Indian side. And this may very well be the group which had recently infiltrated, but the security force had an input about them, so they tried to zero in on this house. But unfortunately, they have lost 5 men while neutralizing these 2 militants.
Right. Ishan, thank you so much for joining us and for all your inputs. We'll keep coming back to you as we find out more about this story. Let's move on now. We are now getting you live visuals of the wreath-laying ceremony at the National Police Memorial in the Indian capital, New Delhi. Take a look at these visuals coming in from the national capital. There is a wreath-laying ceremony underway at the National Police Memorial, where India is saluting its police officers who have been fighting day and night to maintain law and order across cities under lockdown in the fight against COVID-19. This is a tribute to the police officers who are on the front lines and are safeguarding different cities and ensuring that people follow the restrictions and the guidelines of the national lockdown imposed by the Indian government to fight coronavirus. Remember, India's lockdown has now been extended and it will continue till May 17th. And during this time, police officers, healthcare workers and other paramedical staff are on the front lines to ensure that people are safe and inside their homes and follow all the rules and restrictions of this lockdown. We will, through the day, keep bringing you visuals as flypasts will be conducted by the Indian Army, and in fact, even Indian Navy ships will be lit up later in the day to express solidarity and unity of the country in the fight against COVID-19 as a tribute to the healthcare workers and other frontline workers who have played a huge role in India's fight against COVID-19. These are live visuals coming from the National Police Memorial. We're looking at live visuals coming from the National Police Memorial, where a wreath-laying ceremony is currently underway to thank all our frontline workers, especially the police forces, who have ensured that all the rules of the lockdown are implemented effectively as the country fights COVID-19.